reading a Spanish message, then rushing to Google Translate, you still find yourself doing this, huh? It's not your fault, man. I did this too. But in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how I stopped translating from Spanish to English in my head and how you can too. My name's Andre Garcia. I'm a third generation Latino, born and raised in the United States. I grew up only speaking English. English is my first language. And honestly, for the longest time, I felt embarrassed that I didn't know Spanish. I felt like deep down that I should have spoke Spanish, but I didn't. That wasn't the case. At one point, I didn't even know if I was Mexican or white. That's how whitewashed I was. But eventually, I made a change. I took Spanish in high school, and from there, that began my Spanish journey. I only learned the basics during high school, but during the pandemic, I started practicing on my own. And now, obviamente, puedo hablar con fluidez y ayudo gente para hacer la misma cosa. Y me gusta aprender el idioma, me gusta hablar la lengua de español y pues sí. Here's the real reason you keep translating. You haven't trained your brain to associate Spanish words with the meaning of it. You're still attaching them to English. Think of how babies translate. They don't. They just constantly hear the word over and over again until they distinguish it in their brain visually what that word is. For example, when they hear the word agua, they just think of what's agua. Agua is water. That's it. Literally. What is light? Well, luz is, you can't see, but this is light. And then when you can imagine it in your brain, what it looks like, you will automatically just remember it. When you can do that, you rewire your brain to think in Spanish. And the way to do that constantly is you have to immerse yourself in the language fully. I'm talking about your day-to-day has to be in pure Spanish. What does that mean? For example, during my day, I wake up and I journal, I read, or I meditate, or I'll listen to music. Each of those things, when I was in my early stages of learning Spanish, I did those things all in Spanish. I immersed myself fully. I listened to music while I was working out in Spanish. I journaled in Spanish, like I just said, and I even planned my day in Spanish. That's how committed I was to learn it and to immerse myself in the language. Even if you don't speak a single word right now, let's say you can only understand Spanish and you just still can't speak it for some reason, I'm going to link below my 2 free playlists on Spotify where those playlists help me immerse myself in the language fully, because all I did was just passively listen. Over time would understand what that language was, what Spanish was saying, what the letras were saying. That's literally it. That's your first step. So I want you to do that. Save those playlists to your phone. Guarantee those will help you tremendously. You have to be more compassionate for yourself. It's not your fault that you have this issue. You were set up from failure in the first place. The school system trains you in a way to memorize grammar, conjugations, repeat phrases, but the thing that they don't do is teach you how to speak the fucking language. Crazy, right? You have to learn how to speak it. How many times were you told,
study the verb conjugations or repeat the phrases over and over again?
How did that help you? It didn't. It actually, if you were anything like me, it made you resent the language. It made you resent learning like that, because that's the formal way of learning something. When you want to learn something, you only learn from something that you genuinely like. You have to find what is fun for you when learning Spanish. Find what's fun. Find something that you genuinely already do in your day-to-day life. If you like painting and you just always love painting and no one tells you like to paint because you just genuinely love it, look up YouTube videos on how to paint, but in Spanish. I guarantee there's artists out there that are just in Spanish that love to paint as well too, and you'll genuinely find true interest in them and you'll find it fun. That is the way to learn. You don't learn by just repeating phrases or writing down notes or studying like through Quizlet or some dumb shit like that. I don't like that. If I don't like it, I'm not gonna do it. Simple. Speak first, think later. Here's what changed it all for me. I stopped waiting for the right moment, the right time to start talking. I just downloaded Hello Talk and just started saying like, I was like, hola, ¿cómo estás? Oh, ¿cómo te llamas? And then they would say their name. Oh, mi nombre es André. ¿Y tú? Oh, ¿de dónde eres? The foundation of learning a language is speaking the language, right? There's no point in reading it. There's no point in writing it if you just can't speak it. You have to know how to speak it. And the way to speak is just doing it, speaking it. Even if you suck. When you suck at something, you just get better over time. If you keep doing it, you keep trying to get better. And eventually, Latinos just started thinking I was first generation. Like, people weren't surprised that like I could just speak Spanish. Because I look Hispanic, I am Latino, obviously I have Latino descent. I didn't learn by opening up a textbook and reading and writing. Sure, I learned the basics when I was in high school. I just learned the structure of it and just the verbs, like AR, ER, IR verbs. That's it. You don't need to learn all the grammatical things because when you speak it, you learn how to say this and how to not say this. You learn to say, me gusta comer papas fritas, instead of saying, comer me gusta papas fritas. Punto. So the main takeaway from this video is the moment I stopped studying Spanish like I was in school, I just started living the language. I immersed myself, I listened to music, I played games in Spanish. I think I even changed like playing FIFA and putting the commentary in Spanish. If you are struggling to learn Spanish and you want to learn in a way that's fast, but also fun, book a coaching call with me. It's a top link in the description. I will be glad to help you, but do it fast because spots fill up quick. Now let's get back to the video. And what is still on my phone is, if you can see right here, I don't know if you can see right here, but my phone is in Spanish. My phone is in Spanish. So you see right here, it says martes, it's Tuesday of 22nd of April. Puta madre. All right, there you go. See, that's when everything changed. That's when I stopped feeling embarrassed. That's when I stopped distinguishing myself as this whitewashed imposter Latino that didn't speak Spanish and was just shy, timid, reserved, embarrassed, and like felt like he should have known this language from birth. Felt like he was obligated to know this language from birth. When I did this, and I took 7 years to figure it out, and I'm still learning to this day, I don't feel like that anymore. When people look at me, they just think, oh yeah, you're Hispanic, you're Latino. I don't even question myself anymore. Like, I'm Latino, I'm Mexican, and I'm American. Okay, so what? It's a blessing. I help people just like you feel embarrassed and they want to learn Spanish and they want to feel Latino. There's many of us out there that are just not, like, we don't know who we really are. I'll tell you one thing for sure is that your race does not change. You will always have this culture within you, and you will pass down this culture within you, and you know that's true. This is something that is important because your race does not change at all. You know this too. So again, just press the top link in the description. I'll be glad to help you, genuinely. Learning Spanish or any language is not supposed to be formal. It's supposed to be fun. Subscribe if you're new. Do what you do for you. Haz lo que es por ti. Adios, my friends. Ciao. Mwah.